Oh yeah, shit, it's loads, mate.
Oh, an error occurred. Hey, we had an error on Twitter. What's up? Hey everybody, what's going on? Oh, Twitter doesn't want to let us. Oh, you know what? That's my old account. That's why it's giving me an error because that's my banned account.
Damn.
I meant to.
Look, I've never been banned off Twitter, man. Some of the shit I say on there, I can't believe I never got banned.
I've been banned. I was banned 3 times before they give me the final ban. I have no idea what they banned me for. Still to this day. Hey guys,
something to do with jibby jabbies and shit like that.
Yeah, probably my political stances. But I've got HEXy Bastard in the house. We're ready. 9 inches here, folks. Just knocking on the door right now. I've got my purple Ethereum shirt on tonight to represent the Ethereum guys, since I am still a big time Ethereum guy. I love Ethereum and Pulse Chain. Obviously, we're in it to win it. But I just want to represent the Ethereum side because I have suspicion that's where 9 inch is going to shine in the long term, and I don't want to miss out on that. So HEXy, welcome, man.
Yeah,
I'm so glad we're finally here.
Yeah, it's been a long time, man. It's been a long time. I said it on the stream yesterday. I am really grateful for people's patience while we sorted all of this out. We genuinely did think it'd be like a few days after launch. But then when the auditors come back and say, hey, there's a list of problems here you need to sort out. And it wasn't so much us taking a while getting back to them. Like whenever they gave us something to do, it was done within like 3 days maximum. But it's them coming back to us like 2 weeks later. And then, every time there's a small adjustment to be made, that's where we ended up going. So, but it's done now. Audit's complete. Everything's ready to go. We're just picking a good time over the next 6 days to launch it. So
that sounds good to me. Rod's asking, will the contract address be the same for ETH and Pulse? I didn't want to get into questions that fast, but yeah, sure. That's an easy one.
So I think it is possible to do. We did that with Weth when we did that one. So I think it may well be possible, but it might not. I don't know. I don't want to answer that because
it should be the token contract address should be exactly the same.
Well, in theory, yeah, but because we're launching multiple contracts at the same time, it might not. So I'm going to say 95% sure, yes, we can do it because we have already done it with stuff in the past, but I'd have to check with the dev on that one because I wouldn't be able to.
Okay. I'm just out there saying that I think it's going to be the same. I don't see why it wouldn't be.
I don't see why it should be a problem. So they have to just use the same nonce when they launch stuff. That's it, and then it just appears as the same thing. So
all right. So we had our first chat back in May about this. So we got May, or actually the whole launch was during May, right? If I remember correctly. That's when we did the 30-day launch. Was that for the month of May? Was that right?
God, I can't even remember, man. It was like 3 months ago that the sack phase ended.
Okay. All right.
About 3 months ago.
All right. Yeah. This is it's not that long compared to a lot of the other sacks that we went through, and you guys did a great job with. And this is the second largest sack raise of all the Pulse Chain ecosystem sacrifices. So congratulations on that. It's been a while.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Yeah, we've been patient. My wife's been patient. She's always asking me what's going on with 9 inch. I'm like, really? I gotta deal with a Telegram on Twitter and my YouTube comments.
Now your fucking wife's. Hey, even my girlfriend's been like, she didn't even invest or anything. She's just like, is it out yet? I'm like, no. I'll tell you when it's out. Like, fucking hell. We're at the mercy of other people, man. I hate this. Like when we're ready, like we're hungry and just ready to get this shit out, and then we're just waiting for other people to do stuff. It's really frustrating.
Could you imagine Richard waiting 2 years to get Pulse Chain off the ground?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, when I think about the pressure that we've had, you're absolutely right. Like Richard must have been feeling it 1,000 times more, man, because he really did. And especially like a year before it launched, when he said it might be out within 7 days, and then it just didn't launch for an entire year after that. Bro, I sold everything I had, like everything I had to get by that as soon as it came out. And big mistake because it was a year later. So.
And you're not the only one, man. There's a lot of people that even went and took leverage to sacrifice for that, and I know they're having a tough time. Trade Bras here. Isn't Trey Brown the one who won the logo contest?
Yeah,
for
he won $10,000, mate.
Oh, way to go, brother!
In it, yeah, well done, man. And you know what? Like, I'm really happy for him because I know that means a lot to him. It's not like some made guy, a guy who's already like hella rich in crypto won 10 grand. It's like that's the guy that's going to change his portfolio significantly. So I'm really happy for him, man.
Yeah, you said yesterday that he actually lives in the UK too, right?
Yeah, he does. I remember DMing him like 2 years ago because we bumped into each other on Twitter, and this was way before PP, way before anything, and he told me where he's from. I was like, shit, man, that's only like an hour from me. Cool, meal one day. Like, but
UK
yeah,
is so tiny, man. You guys, you guys could fart on one side, and then other people be like, "Hey,
who did that?
Who did that?"
Oh, we were saying last time though about like the regional accents here are so mad. Like you can travel 1 hour away, and it's just like a completely different language. It's crazy.
Absolutely, I totally agree, man. Can't wait to see Mooney. Speaking of, I can't wait to see Mooney Man again.
Yeah. He's excited to see you as well, man.
Yeah,
I spoke to him earlier today.
Yeah,
so
the guy definitely keeps. He knows how to keep a crowd entertained. Okay,
he knows how to keep himself entertained as well.
All right, guys. So enough of the intro stuff. HEXy's been working hard. Congratulations. I mean, you're doing the marketing side right. You're a founder with a marketing twist, similar to me, but we both are good at the marketing side. Which we just had a great talk in my no permissions call. We had a talk with Joey Paris. I don't know if you know who Joey Paris is. He's a really well-known crypto influencer that built his reputation on courses like Udemy courses. And we were talking about how important marketing is. And in crypto, we kind of came to the agreement that about 80 to 90% of what a cryptocurrency needs is marketing. And the one thing that 9inch and Poor Pleb has is phenomenal marketing. And I think that's why you guys will go far in this, from this bear going into a full-blown bull market in the next 2 years. And I cannot wait to see what 9inch does in the next 18 to 24 months. Poor Pleb's a meme coin. That it'll do its thing. We don't know. You don't really have anything to gauge it off of, right? But 9inch we do. We have things like Sushi Swap, Pancake Swap with Cake, and all these coins, and seeing what they've done in the past. And we're launching in a bear, whereas I don't think they launched in the bear. I think they launched further into a bull.
Yeah, I think they. I know Pancake Swap launched kind of like halfway through the bull, somewhere around that, maybe like a quarter of the way in. So I suppose people had the money to be kind of like throwing around for that. But yeah, I don't think there's many things like this that have launched kind of in preparation for the bull, like at least maybe a year before. I mean, people have different opinions about when they think the bull market is going to come. I think we're going to start seeing some upside soon, but it won't be like parabolic or anything like that. It's just going to slowly grind up, and then we'll have dips here and there, but then it will kind of level out. And then, it's hard to say because I think that too many people kind of think they know what the cycle is going to be, right? Too many people look at it and they're like, all right, I did this twice or three times now, so it should do it again. But I think that it's going to catch everyone off guard. It'll either happen way earlier or way later than people think. Just to kind of throw a spanner in the works. I quite like what Sami says about it, because he thinks that basically Bitcoin's going to get to sort of like 80, 90K, and then that'll be it. That'll be it. And then everyone's going to be like, oh, it's definitely going to 100. It's definitely going to 250 or whatever. And it will just kind of get to 80, 90K and then die. And I actually kind of agree with him. I mean, if it does that, then you're still going to see Ethereum going to like $10,000 or something, which is
absolutely.
Absolutely. And all these altcoins that stick around, they could have 1,000x gains from here. Like one that I like is Phantom, for example. I mean, that had a huge retrace from its all-time high. I loaded up on that around the price it's at now, because I think that's going to like $10. It's 20 cents at the moment, man. So that's like what, 50x? It's crazy.
EVMs, man. If there's one thing you learn in going from a bear market to a bull market, is to load up on your EVMs. That's your layer ones. And if they're way down like Phantom, then look at that. Hey, there's Ovidian. What's up, buddy?
100%, man.
I'm just going through the comments. We got so many.
Finally putting 9inch where your mouth is.
Someone said you need a tan.
Oh, fuck off. It's just my lighting, bro. I've been on holiday like 6 times this year. What are you talking about? I need a tan. I'm fine, mate. It's just my lighting.
Eric
We've got the
says,
fucking warm light on. I think it's the color of this hat. It just makes me look pale, you know?
yeah, exactly. All right. So yesterday you didn't get to it. There's the one question that is on my mind that I got to get resolved, man. Because I'm trying to make plans for what I want to do with my 9-inch tokens at launch. You're going to have the staking periods with a multiple. Are you able to explain that clearly yet, or do we have to wait for a little bit for the staking mechanism?
Yeah. So when we launch, we're launching the DEX straight away. So you're going to have one day where basically all you can do on there is trade and provide liquidity. You'll get fees, but you're not able to stake the LP yet because we're just allowing a day for like people to get their stuff in, and then people have a clear time that the farming will start. And the staking will start. So there'll be like a countdown. It will say, 24 hours, and it'll just slowly count down, because we didn't want to launch it at some random time and then half the world be asleep and not be able to actually do it. But if we do it this way, then everyone's got an opportunity. Even if it's like 4 a.m. for you, you will know that is the time when you have to go and apply your LPs to get the position. So day one is basically just a settle period where people can go and put their LP in. They can start earning trading fees and stuff like that, but they won't earn the farming fees yet. They'll start earning that on day 2. On day 2, it's 9-inch only. So you can only farm with the 9-inch pairs, which is going to be 9-inch versus Pulse and ETH, and then 9-inch versus USDC, DAI, and USDT on both chains. But it's the copy from Ethereum on Pulse chain, not the fake DAI or the copy DAI or whatever. So you'll be able to farm with those straight away, but you have to put that LP into the farm in order to do it, right? But you'll have a clear time when to do it. And this time is important because at the very beginning, if you're like the first guy in, it means for that block, you'll get all of it if it's only you in there. So you'll get all of the rewards for that pair for that period of time. Now, also bear in mind that the emissions for BBC, they're going to remain the same. I mean, we can change it in future. We can raise it or we can lower it. I think it's going to be 10 BBC per block at the moment. But that in the future is going to be split across maybe, I don't know how many pairs, man, like maybe 50 pairs. It could, probably less, but, I'll use that as an example. It could be split across 50 pairs. But at the beginning, it's only going to be split across 4. So it's going to be massive yield for that first 2-day period because all of it is in the 9-inch pairs and nothing else. And then after 2 days of the 9-inch pairings that we're going to be doing, there's going to be a 9-inch pair as well on a Pulse chain. So you can bridge over. You can do that in the first 24-hour period. You can bridge your 9-inch over using the Pulse chain bridge from Ethereum over to Pulse chain. So you can just farm with the 9-inch pair. And the reason that we want thick liquidity between them two is obvious. We want the prices to remain relatively similar, or at least have some kind of like direction that they're traveling. So if it's pumping on one side, hopefully it drags up the other side, and vice versa. 2 days after them farms start, that's when we're going to introduce the BBC pairings. So during these 2 days, you'll be able to farm your BBC. You can go dump it on market if you want, or you can save it for this element of it, where you will be able to. Oh, and by the way, actually, I'll just clear this up. So when you stake the 9-inch, like single-sided staking, you will be able to lock it up for the full 52 weeks and get the 21x multiplier.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the question.
That's what you mean, yeah? Okay, yeah. You'll be able to do that on day 2. So like 24 hours after we launch, you can instantly put that in there to do that, no problem. And that's the least risky way to do it, but obviously the yield is less on that compared to the LP farming, because that's just an incentive to. Well, it's good for our system to lock up coins for that long, man. I mean, if a lot of people lock them up for an entire year, then that takes a lot of supply off the market, so it's going to be more bullish for everything moving forward. But there is an important note with this: is that if you do lock up for an entire year, you can't harvest the rewards until the end of the stake. On any of the ones that you can lock up. So the ones that you'll be able to lock up in the end are going to be 9-inch BBC, Poor Pleb, Pulse Doge, and Where Did the ETH Go? They're the only ones confirmed that you'll be able to do the lockup period for. All the other ones that we introduce are going to be like 30-day kind of rolling. We're going to rotate them. So one of them, for example, we're going to do is HEXy, but that will be for 30 days. You can do that. And then after that, we might rotate it to something else, but it's going to be on a flexible basis.
Right.
So you won't be able to lock up on that, but you get, the flexibility. So that's cool. After the first 2 days, you'll be able to do single-sided staking with the BBC. There's an interesting point with the BBC staking. is that it auto compounds itself. So if you put in, I don't know, 100 BBC, as you're earning BBC on that 100 BBC, it goes into the stake for that duration. You can also, I believe you can extend this as well if you add more later from elsewhere. So like if you do your farming pools and stuff, you can add it in for the same time period, or you can increase the length of time and get the 21x multiplier for that, because I don't think it'll apply the full 21x on what you put in 20 weeks in, if that makes sense. But you can reapply the multiplier if you wish to do so.
Which means you probably just be extending out the 52 weeks.
Yes. It's like starting again, but with everything that you've got. But then you are committing to locking it up for another 52 weeks.
Right. Okay.
I'm pretty sure you can do that.
That's how it works on PHUX. So I imagine that's how it's going to work with you guys too.
Yeah, I think that's how it works on PancakeSwap as well. So it's a weird one. I'm pretty sure you can do that. But I do know that with the single-sided staking on BBC, as you earn in the BBC, it flips back around and goes back to your principal pool. So it adds to itself. Whereas with the 9-inch pair, it's not going to do that. But you also can't harvest the BBC until the end of the stake. So there might be some game theory there for those who are looking to maybe lock up for like a length of time on the single-sided staking. Perhaps doing the full 52 weeks might not be the best play, because I think that's what everyone's going to be thinking of doing. So maybe, and I don't want to give the game away too much here, but like maybe do 50 weeks or maybe do 51 weeks or something, because there is a chance that if a load of BBC unlocks at the same time, a lot of people are going to put that into single-sided staking on the BBC, because maybe they regretted not doing that more, because the yield on that's going to be higher than it will on 9-inch. But maybe there's a bit of thinking to do about how long do you actually want to lock up for. Some people might only want to lock up for 20 weeks, but it's just that if you know that there's a huge amount of supply coming, it's a bit like HEX, right? If you see on that chart that there's a huge load of huge stakes ending on this particular day, you might expect the price to go down a bit, because
absolutely
a lot of money is unlocking onto the market, right? So that'll be interesting. But the way it's going to work when the BBC side opens up is, because BBC is so crucial to the system, we need to protect that price as much as possible. So in order to do that, which is very similar to what PancakeSwap did, is that the majority, not the majority, but like a huge percentage of the emissions for the BBC token are going to be with the BBC pair. So that will be with the BBC 9-inch liquidity pair, and it will be on the BBC single-sided staking, because the idea is that you don't want it on the market, right? So you want people doing stuff with it, so that the rewards are good enough that they're not just getting it and dumping it, because you can earn more on it. You're going to be able to earn more with a BBC token than you will with a 9-inch token. You'll be able to earn more with a 9-inch token than you will with a PPPLD or WETH. And you'll probably be able to earn more with those 3 tokens than you will with anything else on the platform, unless they've got serious voting power. For example, you with your NOPE token, I have a feeling that you guys are probably going to get quite a lot of votes for your token. So it's quite likely that you'll get very, very good yield. And the yield is it's a percentage of the emissions. So if there's 10 per block coming out, and that's split up across everything across the board, if you manage to get 1 per block, that's going to be huge, especially if there isn't that many holders, right? Because it's all a question of like how many people participate and what percentage of the pool do they have. So that's why some coins that are applying for the farms and that, they've only got like 500 holders. So you could give them 0.1 BBC per block, and their farm APY would be massive compared to something like even Poor Pleb that's got 7,000 holders. If half of those participate, that's 3,500, more than 7 times as many as the other coin I'm talking about.
So maybe like a 0.7 per block.
Yeah. Well, it'll probably be a bit higher than that, but still, like it's a question of how many participants you've got and what is your market share of that pot. It's all divided equally based upon your percentage of the pot. So there are going to be things where people are going to kind of flip flop out of stuff.
Of course,
because they'll see, maybe they're in the PP 9-inch pair, and then they see that the pool storage pair is like 1,000% APY higher or something crazy like that. They'll probably rotate out of PP into pool storage to get that farm, but then eventually everyone's going to do that, and it will balance out again, and then people will rotate back into PP. So it's going to do that. But one of the main things that I don't think people quite grasped this when I said it yesterday on the stream, just how bullish this thing is that I'm about to say, is that we're going to lure people in with the LP pairings Actually, just before I get into that, I'll say this. So single-sided staking is going to be a relatively small percentage of the total BBC emissions, because there's no point giving people free money for like nothing. You know, that's essentially what we're doing now with our pairs. It helps because it removes stuff from the market. But when we do it with, say, Hex or Pulse X or something like that, we're not actually adding any value, right? So it's got to be like a sliver of yield. It's got to be a little bit just to get them in so that they're interested. And then they use the protocol and then they say, oh, okay, well, I'm getting, I don't know, 30% APY on single-sided staking. But if I go and apply liquidity for this, I can get 500% APY. What are you going to do? Now, the thing that's most bullish is that we're going to have pairings for everything versus ETH and Pulse. Okay, so this could be, you know, let's use I'll use Hex as an example, right? It's easy. You're going to have a Hex ETH pair on the Ethereum side, which will be getting a percentage of the emissions. But on the Hex 9-inch pair, it's probably going to be 9 or 10 times as much emissions for that pair. So that what that does, it does two things, okay? First of all, it encourages people that don't already own 9-inch to go and buy 9-inch so that they can participate in that pair, which is bullish for price. Mm-hmm. Secondly, there's going to be less people participating in that pair. So the APY is going to be huge at the beginning on those pairs. So the people that already own 9-inch right now, they're in such an advantageous position compared to the people that have got to go and buy it, because that takes time. So they're going to lose out on them few, maybe 100 blocks or 200 blocks where they could have been getting like crazy yield, because they're not going to be able to participate in the pairings that exist. So because they're not going to see the APY until it's actually live. But I can tell you guys that the APY on the 9-inch pairs is going to be substantially higher than the APY versus the ETH or the Pulse chain.
Yeah, because I can't wait to participate in the 9-inch BBC pair.
Yeah, that one's going to be huge, because that's basically all the liquidity for the BBC is versus 9-inch, which also means that as 9-inch rises, BBC is going to go up as well. It's exactly how Pancake do it. It's exactly how Richard's doing it with Ink token. That's why when Pulse Chain pumps, Ink pumps, because they're moving up and down together. HEXy Bastard ecosystem in general is going to be pretty liquidity locked, because all of our pairs are going to be rooted. Like 9-inch is like the center, the core of everything, and then everything's linked to that. And then if you want to sell, I don't know, PP for USDC, it's probably going to route via 9-inch, sell for USDC there, and then go back to you. Because that's going to be the main liquidity thing. I don't want to compare it to, say, a Tropa, but it's similar to how they actually have played the game here, because they've got their main pairings and everything's paired with a Tropa. So it gives the illusion of like the thickest liquidity imaginable, because there's so many things linked with it. But really, there's only a small amount of value actually in that system that you can extract. But because it's all being kind of held up by this core token in the middle. Now, we're completely different to them, but it's a good example because people kind of seem to understand it when you talk about that. But when you've got like a pair that you're linking with other pairs, and then you're linking pairs to those pairs, it just gives the whole system just super thick liquidity. Yes. And everything's routed automatically via the DEX. So it's just going to choose the cheapest, kind of least slippage route to trade stuff. So I know I'm like kind of babbling and going off on a little bit of a tangent here about everything. I just wanted
let's tell something funny here real quick. Paul says, imagine having to tell your wife, no, I don't have 9-inch BBC PP rewards yet. NSA won't understand. That's so true. Leon says, HEXy, what do you think is a good base strategy upon launch and onward? Don't want to make a wrong move for my SAC. Can we just park in SSS, or better to move into farms? Yeah, I think you just went over this, but
yeah, I mean, I'm not going to advise people what to do as such, but I will tell you that the majority of the rewards are going to be on the farms. But when you do LP farming, you do take the risk of impermanent loss. So let's say you went in with a Hex 9-inch pair, and the price of Hex absolutely tanks for some reason, or the price of 9-inch absolutely tanks. Whatever tanks, you're going to get lots of that and less of the thing that's remained up, or vice versa as well. Like if Hex goes up in price and 9-inch doesn't, you're going to get a lot of 9-inch and less Hex. Now, but your overall value is going up and down still based upon where the prices are at. But you do run the risk of impermanent loss. So it's riskier doing the farms, but that's where the rewards are, like the real rewards. Now you can earn good money on the single-sided staking, I'm sure.
Oh,
but,
yeah, absolutely.
But it's not going to be as juicy as the LP farming, because that's really what we're all about. Like the whole idea is that we want the total value locked to be ideally in the billions, man. Like
that's how you're going to get the attention. That's how attention is brought when we have tons and tons of liquidity, and then all the aggregators are going to stop by and say, "Hey, that one's the cheapest. Let's use them."
Exactly. Yeah, you know what? When you mentioned in my stream in the comments last night about CowSwap, I forgot they were an aggregator. To be honest, they just scour the blockchain for the best deal. They don't care where they buy it from. They just want to make profit, right? They're basically a bot themselves. So, they're just going to go where it's cheapest. So we've got lower fees than Uniswap. We might have thicker liquidity than Uniswap. And the gas fees are going to be cheaper. So which one are they going to choose? That's CowSwap, and Matcha does Matcha does gasless transactions, and I think 1inch does gasless transactions as well. So if gasless transactions means that they're basically taking the money from the trade, so they're going to sell a bit of your token that you want in order to get you the best deal, because they want you to get a good deal, because then you'll use them more. They also want to make some profit. So if they can make more profit and give you a better deal, then they're definitely going to choose us. So it's just getting on their radar. That's all. But the only way to get on the radar is have thick liquidity. That's it.
Yeah, and I want to let people know that even wallets now, you can swap within the wallets, and they're just essentially an aggregator. The MetaMask swapping feature is an aggregator. So is Aurochs. I've been with the Aurochs team for years, and theirs is an aggregator within the wallet, and it just goes and finds the best price on the blockchain. And if 9inch is it, then the 9inch is it. And then
exactly. Internet Money as well. They're doing the same thing. They're adding 9inch on. So anyone who trades on Internet Money, if they're trading any kind of meme coin, or even honestly, we could even end up with thicker liquidity on hex pairs. I think we're going to do that on Ethereum, by the way. It's very likely that we're going to take all of the Uniswap lunch for the hex community.
Good.
Everything.
Those fuckers
because Uniswap don't deserve it, mate. They treated us like shit. So fuck those guys.
We built them, and then they crapped on us. P Burns got a question. Are limit orders available on day one?
Yep. Yeah. Limit orders on Pulse Chain, baby.
Yeah, you guys have no idea how important this is. I know my community and the Patreon, we've all been salivating for limit orders. And, I come from back in the day when everything was in centralized exchanges, and all I used was limit orders probably for my first 4 years in crypto. Then all of a sudden, we got DEXs, and now I'm doing market orders, and I'm losing money on my trades. And it's like a bad habit I got into. And now it's time to get back into just using limit orders. I just accept it. Like, okay, I'm going to lose $20 on this. Oh, okay, I'm going to lose $50 in this trade because of slippage or whatever. Well, if you do limit orders, you don't have to worry about slippage because other person's getting the slippage, not you.
Yep, exactly, man. Exactly. Limit orders are the way that you want to go in general with everything. Because also, if you're a TA guy and you're drawing out lines and you're doing Fibonacci's and shit like that, right? You can just set and forget. You can say like, oh, okay, this looks like it's going to take a dip. I'll put a buy order in around this price, just above the Fibonacci or something like that. And then guess what? If it hits it, then you get to walk away with the money, and you've taken no slippage, and you've probably got the best deal imaginable, because the chances of you being at your computer at the time that exact move happens it's almost impossible, right? And having your hardware wallet around and everything, it just doesn't happen. So
yeah, look at the people like, oh, I'm going to wait for Hex to do a 50% drop. Then just making up stories here. And it goes on with a red line, and you're like, oh, I'm going to go buy it. By the time you get to your computer, it's already back up, and you miss the opportunity. Is the 52-week lock-in period a rolling period? I think you did say something to that about rolling periods.
It's not a rolling period. So when the stake expires, you've got a 2-week. I think it's a 2-week grace period. I'd have to double check this to be sure, but I'm quite confident it's a 2-week grace period. And then you do slowly start to, a bit like Hex, you start losing your rewards if you don't remove it. You don't lose your principal. You never lose your principal. But the rewards that you've gained, they start to bleed out. And I think it's for 90 days. So you get 2 weeks grace, and then for 90 days, it will bleed out to zero. But you will always keep the principal, though. You never lose the principal.
All right, that's great. Jason says, can you just put 9inch in and it'll split it up for you for 9inch PLS? That would be like PHUX. PHUX is like an ETF, and it splits it all up for you. All right, so you're gonna have to have both sides of the pair equal, just like on PLSX.
Yeah, just like PLSX or Uniswap V2, you just need to have equal sides of the pair. So you know, like if I've already told you guys, like, you know, Pulse, DAI, USDT, and USDC. So if you want to participate at the beginning, just make sure you got some of that handy to use on day 2, or you can get it in on day 1, but then just be ready to click the buttons on day 2.
Nice. Both change for the SAC.
Dos cadenas.
Yeah.
Yes, mate.
¿Tú hablas español, HEXy?
De nada.
No, he said de nada.
I don't even know what does de nada mean.
De nada's you're welcome.
Oh shit. Yeah, exactly. So no.
Is the SAC okay? So it is. The SAC is for both chains, guys. So
yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, let me hear you say 9-inch. Ayo. I even got the beat going on. Thank you, AJ. Look, everyone's got Nope. I can't wait to launch Nope. I don't know how we're gonna do it, because I'm gonna be in Europe until mid December. So I was supposed to launch it 30 days after you guys launch, but because of the way that everything's gone, it doesn't look like it's going to be that way. I just have to launch it mid-December when I get home. I don't want to be launching that from a laptop in a hotel.
That's not sketchy, man.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
So I don't actually know a lot about it. Does Nope do anything, or is it?
Okay, so Nope token's a meme coin for our Patreon. So anybody who joins the Patreon, depending on how many months they've been a member, they get 100,000 tokens. There's a 1 billion total amount of tokens. So 100,000 for each month. If you've been a consult member, which the people that pay $250 a month, those folks get $1 million per month that they've been involved, and it's only for the active folks. Now, the token's going to be, we'll stake it with you guys, the single-sided staking. Once we get going, once that's available, we'll do that. And it's just a meme coin, but I'm going to use it as a way to outreach to other communities within I'm not even going to say crypto space. I'm going to say the anarcho-capitalist / libertarian space out there, the people who don't give a fuck about government, who want to give them the middle finger. You want me to do this? Nope. Vaccination? Nope. Pay taxes? Nope. All that kind of stuff. So I'm going to use it as a marketing tool for giveaways and things. You know how you guys did for the logo for BBC? Mm-hmm. Well, I could do that every single day, or every week, for people coming up with really good memes for Nope token and contests on TikTok and stuff like that. And all of that comes back to marketing the Pulse chain and 9-inch, whatever we have ecosystem. So I think it's going to be really powerful.
Is it just launching on a Pulse chain or ETH as well?
I'm only doing Pulse chain, and it's we're exclusively going to have liquidity on 9-inch at launch. I can't control other people. Other people, they might get the coins and they go put them on Pulse X. That's fine. But the liquidity from myself and the team side is on 9-inch. And the God whale of 9-inch is involved as well. He's like my partner on this. So he's helping provide liquidity.
Shout out to you, my brother.
Yes.
Fucking legend, mate.
And I'm going to stay with him after I see you guys. We're going to do a little trip around the UK, and then we're flying to go see him in where he lives in Europe. So we'll be spending about 5 days with him right after we see you guys. So good times, man. And so that's essentially what Nope token is. It's a way to pay back my community for being members, and on top of that, we'll find ways to make it go up and to the right.
Sounds good, man. Hey, look, you've already proven how much bloody influence and firepower you've got behind you. So I think Nope token's going to do fabulously well.
It's going to do really well. And a fair launch, which means just we put the liquidity up on the DEX. Whatever happens, happens. Go for it. Mm-hmm. Here's 20% of the whole supply. Have fun.
Can I join your Patreon now and get 100,000 tokens?
Yeah.
Can I really?
Sure. Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna do it
because we're not
on the pre-sale, guys.
that is the pre-sale. Exactly. That's funny.
Good shit.
People ask me, "Oh, I want to buy some tokens, Randy." Nope. You can't buy tokens. You have to wait. If you want some, Patreon. Okay, can we see HEXy's 2 wiener puppies? Where's the puppies, man?
They're sleeping, bro.
Yeah, it's late.
They're sleeping. Yeah, like to be fair, right, if they weren't sleeping, you'd know about it because they just like fighting and barking and shit constantly. So I try and, if I know I'm streaming, I make sure I tire them the hell out so that they're just quiet, because otherwise you'd just be hearing them yapping away, because they're only like 2 doors across from here. You'd hear them. So I will show them on stream eventually. Hang on, do I have a photo I might be able to show on the... Yeah, in fact, fuck it. I'll show them another day.
Look, Dan says, will the BBC emissions be tokenized? Spank. What the hell? Dan and his stuff, man.
That's the director for Lowest the Stakes, by the way.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, I get to meet him soon,
Smith. Then. Yeah,
that's cool.
I've got a present for you, Dan. When I see you, I got a present for you, buddy.
P Burn is over here shilling Total FOMO. Total FOMO token. Yeah. Another one.
Do you know what? It's annoying because I knew they were launching that and I forgot to buy it. So now I'm watching it go up and I'm like, shit, I didn't even buy any.
He told me to.
No, there's another one that they've done as well. I won't say it because I don't think they've announced it properly yet. I might actually buy this one.
This is gonna be fun. Yep. Hello, PPs. Whatever happened with the big PP token design contest? Who won? Trade Bra Run, Georgia.
The BBC token logo contest. Yeah, Trade Bra won it. $10,000.
Wow, happy camper he is. Yeah, Trade Bra. All right. What a great double act thing.
HEXy Randy. Randy's an excellent name, by the way.
I know in the UK Randy, it's wonderful.
There's a Randy in the UK. That's not his real name, but that's his like crypto name. And the way that he got that name was he searched for most popular male porn star name. That's what came up.
Well, Randy does mean horny, right?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Mom. I appreciate it. Because my mom's in the chat.
She really, shout out to Randy's mom. Great name choices.
She's a pulse chain-akin, 9-inch-akin all the way through, and she's with us all the stuff.
What was her reaction when you said, do you know, I've just started working with this project called 9-inch?
I don't know what her reaction was, but she laughs about it. I got to see her in Niagara Falls recently because we went home. And I'm from New York State, but you know my son doesn't have a passport, so they had to come see us in Niagara Falls, and it was so funny. We were just talking about this stuff, and you know everyone's tearing up, and just like this is the craziest shit ever. Who actually gets to claim the ownership of coming up with a name? I remember something about Swap in the past, the boring name you guys came up with, and then who gets to claim the 9-inch idea?
It was none of us. It was a guy called Balaji. You might have seen him in your chat before. Yeah, so we had a name and a brand in mind. We already came up with the idea. We had a name and brand in mind, and I went down to London to meet. There's like a kind of private group that I've got with a few of the UK guys and a couple of overseas guys. Actually, we ought to add you to that group, Randy. I'll send you a link after this.
Okay.
And Balaji's in this. So we had like a bastards meetup, right? Just down in London, nice and quiet. Just about, I don't know, 10 of us went and met up. And Balaji is one of the guys I proposed the idea to. I was actually a bit sketchy telling people what my plans were because, you know, if you tell people, it's a problem, right? So, but with these guys, trust them. Told him the original name that we had for it. And it was originally we were going to call it Swapify, which is just the worst name ever. Like, so unbrandable, doesn't match my personality at all. And they wanted me to be like the fucking front man for it and everything like that. So anyway, and he said to me, do you know, I like it, but I just don't like the name. But you know what would be funny? You know, you've got 1inch.io. What if you did 12inch.io? And I just fucking died laughing, man. Like I was laughing for like 10 minutes straight thinking about it. But the problem was we couldn't get 12inch.io, but 9inch.io is
plenty.
It's plenty, you know. If I think 9 inches is big enough, man. Like, no, 9 inches. It's more reasonable for the common man. That's the way I like to put it. You know,
all right.
We can aspire for that, but we can't aspire for 12 inches, man. I've got a big cock in real life, but it ain't getting 12 inches, bro. Nowhere near.
All right. Hey, Gold Everything is just telling you guys should be getting on Twitter Spaces. And I want to reiterate, look, how important marketing is, and don't let the team fall short on the Twitter account. Make sure they're active. Get somebody in there that knows what they're doing. they're tweeting every day and they're replying to 9-inch comments and stuff like that. That's a great way of getting some traction and getting the word out there.
Absolutely. We have got a lot of Twitter Spaces planned for the future. We just what we wanted to do really was I wanted to get out with that stream yesterday, and I mean you can already tell with the amount of traction that got that this is going places, because I never used to get that much traction before. But you are absolutely right.
200 viewers right now.
Oh shit! Nice. Hi everyone. Hope you're good. But Twitter Spaces is the way, because even back before, when no one really knew about us, when we did Twitter Spaces, we would get like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people listening in. And they really do work, and it's like an open platform as well, so other people can come up and ask newbie questions, or they can even argue with you and tell you that it's shit. And you know what these guys haven't seen me do much of yet, but I know they'll love it, is me arguing with people, because I'm really good at it. I'm really, especially when I know I'm winning, right? Like, because I'll back down if I know I'm losing an argument. I'll be like, all right, fair enough, you win. But like, they've only seen me argue with people a few times, and I absolutely shit on people in debates.
Well, you are English, man, so you guys tend to argue really well. You make the rest of us sound dumb. I think it's because you guys, because the way you guys talk, it's like you start at level 3 and we're at level 1, so you guys already got an upper hand going into the argument. Everyone believes what you say. No one believes what Americans say. They believe everything.
I don't know about that though. With me, bro, I'm fucking northern, right? I'm definitely a level 1 too.
Okay, all right. I mean, when you hear David Attenborough speak, you're like, oh, yes, sir. Okay. Everything you say, you know?
Yeah.
All right. So the trailer for the Lowest of Stakes is awesome. Yeah. I can't wait for the Lowest of Stakes.
See, that's the kind of like marketing that we're doing. We're doing outside the box shit like that. And obviously we're going to do all the basics as well, but the Lowest of Stakes is just going to be fantastic, man. I think we're going to win over a lot of people that perhaps don't actually like me, think I'm some kind of vampire on the community. I suppose in some ways I am, but I am adding value to the community as well by giving the community what they need. We need this shit. We need limit orders on Bullschain, for fuck's sake. If that's not enough, like just straight off the bat, we need that. We really do.
Coco, no, we've never met in person. We were supposed to last year. I think you weren't able to make it to the get together we had in London. Then we had to get together in York,
Glasgow.
No, we had one in York. We had one in Glasgow, and we had one in Edinburgh. So we had four meetups, and you weren't able to make any of them. It was really, I was bummed out. It's okay.
Yeah, I was going to come to the London one. I think I remember now. You're right. I was broke.
Yeah,
that was part of the reason, definitely. But I also think it was just like I just couldn't make it work around my job and things like that. It just wasn't.
We had a great time, but that was the night one of the guys didn't know that my son he's dislocated his elbow a couple of times. He picked him up by his hands and popped it out again. So we had to go to the hospital there in London, and it had already popped back in by itself. But he felt so bad. I was like, oh man, bro, this isn't the first time my son's done this. So don't worry, this is normal.
That story actually came up in the 9-inch voice chat the other night, and it was a guy called Loz, who's one of our admins in there. I've met him in person loads of times. Fucking lovely guy, but he's very clumsy. He's the guy, if you ever heard me tell the story about we bought the 100-pound cocktail, and then he went and fell over into a table full of girls and knocked their red wine everywhere and spilled it. Like, that's the short story. There's a long story to that, but like, yeah, that's the nuts and bolts of it. I love him to bits, but he's a bit clumsy. Bless him.
Well, it wasn't his fault, man. You know, it was our fault that he dislocated the first time. But you know, it's like it's a reoccurring injury for little kids, and he's had it happen 3 times. It's been over 2 years since this happened, so hopefully never again. Yeah, or not 2 years, a year and a half since we were in the UK. But that was a minor one. I felt so bad for him, though, man. I thought he just.
I bet he felt terrible, mate.
Oh, man. I'm like, bro, don't worry. It's okay. This shit happened. They're kids.
Yeah.
Can you make ladder stakes in the same wallet for the locked up SSS? Yeah, that's a good question, because I was thinking about doing 25%, 25%, 25%. That's what I was thinking about doing.
I think you can. You know what? I need to confirm that. Like, if you don't mind, let me give you that info for whenever you do your next stream, because my devs are flying at the moment, so they won't be able to answer the question even if I ask them. But I think you can. I'm pretty sure you can do that. And even if you can't, move it to
hold on a second, bro. Bitcoin is 31,650 right now.
Yeah,
we're mooning. Ethereum Hex is popping off. It's over $0.01 again. P-Hex is about to hit a cent. We're about to have parity there. I'm sorry. I'm just like so excited. It looks like the bull market's kicking off, man.
Or is it a fake? Is it a fake out?
It could be, but either way, it feels good. It gives us a sense of where we're going.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I was looking at Ethereum the other day, and it actually doesn't look that strong. Bitcoin looks quite strong, but Ethereum doesn't look very strong at the moment. It's weird, right?
I was talking about that on my stream last night. It's just, I think Bitcoin's getting most of the energy, and it's just grabbing everything, and that's just, I think that's pretty normal, right? At the beginning, going into the halving,
swing. Like Bitcoin usually moves a bit first, and then everything kind of follows it. But yeah, but Bitcoin looks fucking marvelous at the moment. I still wouldn't buy it though, like myself, but I like that Bitcoin goes up because then everything else goes up. So
yeah, liquidity bonding, which we're gonna have plenty of on 9inch.
Yeah, hell yeah, baby.
Randy, is there something you ain't telling us? I'm telling you about what?
It's your career before you were you're a financial guy.
Oh, okay. Nah. You're welcome to a Hornet man named Love HEXy. I got out the measure. My mom. She's wild. Nothing makes me blush at my age. I love your humor. If I have 9-inch, E9-inch, and P9-inch in an LP, and permanent loss won't matter if you just want a 9-inch on either side. I can start that day one, correct? Is that possible to start day one? But it's only on Pulse Chain.
Yeah. It's only on Pulse Chain. Well, actually, I mean, in theory, we could do it on Ethereum as well. There was a bit of talk about that, but the only reason it makes more sense to do it on Pulse Chain is because the fees are way lower over there. So it's kind of an onboarding tool as well to get people over to Pulse Chain, because that's inevitably what we do want to do with this. But we wanted to launch on Ethereum just so that on the off chance if Pulse Chain wasn't a success, we've not got a failed product here. Do you know what I mean? So it makes sense for us to Ethereum. Like the way we're looking at this is we think actually the Pulse Chain community, and I mean this with the utmost respect, we actually think that this is kind of low hanging fruit to get the Pulse Chain community on board with 9-inch. It's going to be easy. It's the Ethereum guys that are going to be hard, man. Like that's where my effort is going to be going, personally.
Absolutely. I just put the Git book in the chat. You guys, if you want to check your numbers, remember what the URL is to go check?
Points.9inch.io. Just paste your address in there, and that includes everything that the guys that did the Magic Carpet Ride pool and everything. It's all data in there.
Archie says need to get market share from Uniswap. I don't think it's going to be that difficult. The thing people don't understand about Ethereum is that almost everybody uses aggregators now. We don't go straight to Uniswap. I can't remember the last time I did that. So what an aggregator does is it searches the blockchain for the best possible price. And if 9-inch has a 20% lower fee, everything's going to be going through 9-inch until they catch on or someone forks 9-inch and makes another exchange, which is possible. Are you guys, is it open code? Is it going to be able to be forked?
Well, I mean, we're forking other people's code, so yeah, it's just PancakeSwap with a few alterations. Really, it's going to be public code. People can totally fork it if they want to. The issue is that you can fork the code, but you can't fork the marketing and the community that we already have behind this. Right. This is why we're going after like for example, on Ethereum, we're totally going after Hex at the beginning because Hex has a lot of trading volume on it and a lot of liquidity. So if we can get those guys, if we can convince those guys that, look, you're going to be treated better over here, then we're already going to get a huge share. Well, it's not a huge share of the Uniswap market, but it's a big chunk of the Uniswap market. So at the very least, we're going to get noticed for that. But yeah, so you can fork the code all you want, but if you can't convince people to actually use your product, then what's the point? It's never going to work. You need liquidity in order to do it. So that what he says, game over. Like once you get the Hex guys over, a lot of other people are going to start following.
And the Hex guys, deep pockets. That's the one thing people don't understand about our community.
Fuck yeah.
and we flex all the time in my Patreon because we're a bunch of gray hairs and everyone in my Patreon, not everyone, but I would say 90%'s got money. And and most of my Patreon is over 40. So we're just like, okay, I just put 10 grand in this, put 30 grand into this. One of our members lost $8 grand putting money in via what's that platform that just launched out of Australia for onboarding? Coast. She put the money in via Coast, and no one could find the transaction. So it's just like $8,000, puff, gone. And she's like, "Well, I guess I just lost $8,000. I guess a learning lesson." And I'm like, "What?
How did she lose? How did she lose?
She didn't lose it. They lost it.
They lost it.
The Fortress, the company behind that Coast is using, lost the money, and if it's ever resolved, I'll be the first one to come out and go on Twitter and say that good job, Coast, for resolving this. But at this current moment, they have not resolved it. So I would not be using Coast.
Fuck. Whoa, that's crazy, man.
Yes.
Shit.
Sorry, Coast guys. You had your chance to fix it. And you haven't done it.
How long ago did this happen?
Oh, this has been going on for a couple of weeks. She's been fighting to get her money.
Damn, bro. Yo, I can't believe I didn't hear about that. I wonder if this happens to other people though.
No, it's our Patreon. It's been quiet, and I just mentioned something on Twitter the other day. It's just me reiterating what I said on Twitter. I mean, I'm a person that believes that you got to hold companies accountable, and you just lost $8,000 to someone's money. Fix it. I don't care if it's coming out of your own pockets.
That's a lot of money, man. That's $8,000 is a lot of money, man.
Yes, it is, especially right now. Randy, will you be sticking to your 9-inch plan? Yes or no? Those that want to know need to know to join the permissions to learn the 9-inch strategy. Yeah, we actually have a tab within no permissions, 9-inch tactics. We actually have. It's the only project that has its own tab.
Man, I'm definitely joining that Patreon now. I need to know what you guys are planning to do, because you got some big boys in your group, man. I need to know what they're planning on doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Twitter can be used as a marketing 9-inch against Uniswap. Sure could. Why not?
It's going to be for sure. Like we've already got some.
Plans never be the first one. Exactly. With Coast, it just that shit happens. Randy, what is your 9-inch strategy? How many percent goes to where on both sides? Labazi, join the Patreon. But I will say I wanted to put 25% locked up for a year on both chains. That was definite. That is an absolute definite. I don't care if it means a little bit smaller rewards in the beginning, because I know what happens when things go up and then they start going down. People start losing interest, and then I'm just over there reaping all the rewards. And then the bull market hits, and I'm like,
well, exactly, man. I mean, if you can accumulate like a lot of BBC, and I already told you in private, like one of the plans that we might do with the BBC token in the future. So we are going to give it a bit more use case than what it has now. But even without that use case, if 9-inch goes up, like let's say in an ideal world, 9-inch goes up 100x. Then I think BBC is going to get lifted up with that as well. Maybe not the full capacity of 100x, but if you're accumulating all those tokens, like with a year-long stake, and then you're just compounding that back into a BBC stake or something like that, man, you're going to kill it. You're going to kill it. Even if the value goes down 90%, you're going to have like 1,000x more tokens. So the value can go down 90%. You've still made 100x. Yep. It's plus the 50x anyway. It's like, you're going to kill it. Do that. So, yeah,
it's like the people who are talking bad about Liquid Loans loan token. When they look at the liquidity token, the when they forked, it's just down to the right forever. But what people don't realize is that when you staked your Liquid Loan tokens there, if you were in the first couple of weeks and you staked, you didn't care that the price went down because you're earning so many, and you can continually sell. Who cares about the price? And the difference is none of those tokens had buy and burns like we have with BBC. You guys actually have a buy and burn for this token.
Yeah.
And a bunch of liquidity pairs to help boost it. These companies don't do that. They just loan down forever. Yep. I imagine that's what's going to happen to loan token for Liquid Loans, unless they come up with other features to keep it built up like you guys
probably. But like you say, man, it's a bit like Zen as well. Like the guys who are minting Zen are actually making profit, but anyone who bought it is fucking wrecked. Like, I bought a little bit of Zen at one point thinking it might have been the bottom. Boy, was I wrong.
It keeps going down to the right,
just down and down and down and down forever.
TDM10 says, bro, please stick to Hex and Pulse and PulseX, please, Randy. Why? I've been openly very angry about PulseX. I was one of the I shouldn't say openly, but within my Telegram, I've been very upset about it because it wasn't what I thought I was going to get. And yes, I had expectations. Yes, I did. I thought we were going to have single-sided staking. I thought we were going to have limit orders. We didn't get either one of those things. So I'm sure that's coming in the future, but we don't have it at the current time. 9inch does.
Why are people so scared to tell the truth, Randy?
I don't know.
Why? Why is
because they're afraid? They're afraid to lose followers. They're afraid that
they're afraid that Daddy Richard's going to unfollow them on Twitter. Basically, that's it. You know, like because honestly, you got to say it how it is, right? PulseX was a disappointment, a very big disappointment. Now I support PulseX,
and there's two versions of the disappointment.
Exactly. They didn't even do the V3 finalized version yet. Like if he came out tomorrow and did a V3 that was everything that we expected it to be in the first place, which had the LP fees and the buy and burn, fantastic. That's exactly, and you could farm with that LP. Because right now, if I'm a noob and I go to PulseX, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Nope. I have no idea what's V1, what's V2. Who fucking knows what that means? They're both the same thing, basically. It's just like there's an underlying issue with the code. And I don't understand why people are so afraid to tell the truth on this. It isn't up to standard. We thought Richard Hart, he's a perfectionist and he's going to produce something that's fabulous and it's just going to change the game. It just didn't. It was very sloppy. To be honest, that's like the only word I can use for it. Now he might change that in future and he might improve it. I think 9inch, when that comes out and starts taking all of his LP away, then he might actually make some improvements to it, to be honest. But he needs a smack in the arse to get him moving again. Because right now he doesn't give a fuck.
Right now he's worried about a 3-letter agency. That's where his focus is. And I think
true that, yeah. True that. You know,
which I totally understand. I get it. But come on. We thought, we were gonna have a better PulseX than what we got. Some will only join for the Nope tokens, and some will opt to buy Nope on market. Yeah, sure. That's how it's going to work.
I might do both.
Yeah. Coast has worked well on and offboarding. I had to delay it 4+ days, and Coast were able to liaise with Fortress and resolve the issue. Hopefully, the lady will get the issue resolved. Yeah, but it's been weeks. All right. Well, let's wrap this up. I got to take my son to football. He's got football practice. Gonna go. When I say my son goes to play football, he's the clown on the field. He's the kid that's over standing in the corner playing with the bugs. He's like, we play football in the house, man. I said, I use the door as the goal, and he kicks the shit out of it when we're playing in the house. Take him out to the field. What do I do?
Paying attention, yeah.
Like, bro, come on, man.
No. I understand, man. My little boy's about the same. So, yeah. No, all good though, brother. But thanks again for having me on. I if you ever need to get me on again to answer more of these questions, I'll ask the dev about the thing with the adding multiple stakes. But here's the thing: even if you can't do that, you can just do that in different wallets. Worst case scenario, but I'm pretty sure you can do it, to be honest. So we'll see.
It's all good. Yeah, Trade Ross said, I accepted my unfollow ages ago when I realized it was a locked echo chamber. Yeah, I got unfollowed. We all got it. Everyone who talks about something else got unfollowed. I got unfollowed because I mentioned that I thought Zen would actually be a good token to mint and hold for a year or get it in a year, and it worked out. I was 3x up on my stakes or whatever it's called, my mints.
Yep.
I made 3 times my money. That's awesome. So hey.
People who minted Zen, participated in that, did very well. They really did. I wrote it off at the beginning. I was like, nah, it sounds stupid. I'm not interested. But I eventually bought some. That's not what you're supposed to do. You meant to mint it. I think even now you could go and set up mints and probably make profit
forever
doing it forever. Yeah. But
all right, brother. Well, thank you so much. We all appreciate you and the work that you put in. And I know you're a marketer, and once this thing's launched, you're going to be a beast. Everyone's going to know your name in the crypto space. That's you won't be able to call yourself your real name anymore. It's just going to be HEXy Bastard going forward.
I haven't really called myself my real name for a long time now. Anyway. This is who I am now. This is not even a hat. It's just my hair. I dyed it last night. And the shades are just because the lights are bright. That's all.
Well, thank you, brother.
See you soon, bro. Yeah. Take care. See you in a bit.